result for you guys, if that makes sense?
Yeah, they'll all be could-haves. I'd say in the end, although we had our chances, we just lacked composure when we needed it. And sometimes that can be forced or perceived pressure that can cause that, which Geelong brought tonight. I thought it was a physical game. But yeah, we had our chances where, especially front half, where we just weren't able to execute by foot going inside 50, giving ourselves the best chance to score and not taking away from the fact that our opposition are very strong in that area as well.
Particularly in that second quarter when you had so much weight
loaded
the ball forward, but just couldn't convert.
Yeah, it can often go that way when you are dominating front of centre. For too long, there's a lot of numbers back inside 50, but I didn't think that's... I thought in the end, we had opportunities even in amongst that where we had players with split inside 50 or opportunities to maybe hit those targets, and we didn't get it done. So that was disappointing. But that's maybe what you're talking through. That it could have been.
Where else did you think the game was mainly won and lost?
Well, centre bounce, I think we had 5 goals kicked against us from centre bounce, but the rules are the rules there. We've got to be able to get it done at times. We probably had our chances in there where we might have had a hold of the footy and just coughed it up, and Geelong took off on us. I thought in the first quarter they really attacked us hard. Came back off intercept and challenged us throughout that first quarter. We adjusted really well to that, and then the game from that point on was reasonably well balanced. There's probably a 3-goal breeze going to the north, which we took that and had our opportunities, as I said, inside 50s, but just didn't capitalise.
Given the breeze, was there any particular concern about your slow start again?
It's something we'll continue to look at, but as I said, that it was reasonably strong. It was probably our inability to again keep it in our front half early when we went forward. But again, that's you talk about where their strengths are, that back line and the way Stewart plays behind the ball. He was very influential, especially early.
Just on Stewart, how do you assess what you did there?
Well, we came in with a number of plans. The first one didn't work up until quarter time. There's a reason that he's a highly regarded player and rated as one of the best in the competition, and he showed that tonight because I thought plan A for Stewart and their back line was a solid one. We didn't execute it at all, and so we went to plan B. And again, you've got to be able to execute around that. But he's a fantastic player. He's impacted the game tonight. I'd say he's probably one of the most influential in the game on the result.
So just that plan B, was to push Pedler up near the ball. I mean, Stewart in the second quarter particularly, Stewart seemed to be playing a loose man. Was that just to clarify that?
There's a little bit more to it than that, but take him on a little more with the ball in hand and see if we can challenge him from a different direction, rather than just, I guess, trying to go 1v1. Most people sort of look at the game and go, why don't you just put someone on him? Or some players have a level of footy that even with that attention are able to impact the game, and I think he's one of those. He showed tonight he had an outstanding game.
In terms of just your overall decision making, that's obviously what you're talking about there. With your composure. How did you sort of assess it as the night went on?
Yeah, that's the little things that we didn't quite get right. It's one area of those, which is that sort of by foot, finishing a playoff, and it's the hardest kick in the game, going inside 50. The ground narrows. The opposition often have numbers in through that area. So when we got it right, it looked quite clean. And there were a number of times where we did go in and we were able to find a lead-up mark or even an uncontested mark and get a shot on goal. Now, in the end, we hit the post a couple of times, from areas where the expected goal from that point would be a lot higher than what we went at tonight, which is really disappointing. And they're key moments in a game where momentum can change pretty quickly. But there's more little things that we didn't quite get right, and they punished us whenever we didn't. When we got it wrong, they went reasonably quickly down into their forward line, and it's hard to stop that, with your back line when you're out of position.
Fog running into an open goal. Obviously, there's a lot of moments in a game, but that's another example, I guess, of the not being able to take your chances late.
Yeah, uncharacteristic. Some of those things, which they're moments and they're crucial to winning games of footy, but it doesn't all come down to that. It's not all on that. As I said, there are others where we hit the post, and there are other areas of the game that we've got to be better in. We've got to get ourselves going now. There are a lot of good sides sitting in the comp at the moment that are 0-2 and 0-3. Some very good sides. So we know this competition and how even it is. We're not going to throw it out. We've just got to really crank ourselves up and get going. We now travel to Perth to play Freo, so it don't get any easier.
It's a bit off topic, but are you comfortable with your players touching the crowd, even though he's obviously in the wrong place, the pitch invader? Are you comfortable with players sort of taking, or how do you balance the idiot that ran on versus what your players did?
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing, and it's dangerous. Pitch invaders. Yeah, I don't understand it, but yeah, it's a little concerning. But it's I took the opportunity to have a look into the computer and see where we could be better. So I didn't really get a good look at what played out. But yeah, it's disappointing to see that someone of this day and age still runs out on a footy field. I don't get it.
And particularly like your players, like I think it's Matt Crouch and Ben Keys collared him, but
Collared him?
Keys literally collared him. Yeah.
Right.
Is that something you advise against? Or?
There's high risk in that, and that's probably what I'm talking about when it comes to the dangerous part of actually someone being on a footy field. Especially when the game's going, to be right in amongst it. The dangers are huge, not only for our players but for that individual. Probably more so for that individual, to be honest. But I'll have to have a look at it.
Is it frustrating as well as a coach? Because you talk about key moments, that's one that's completely out of your control. Someone comes on, delays any momentum that you might have, delays the game, as well as the danger that you mentioned.
Yeah. There's a lot that I guess takes it into that category of disappointing. But
You do to get yourself going, to crank yourself up, as you say.
Sorry.
How do you crank yourself up and get yourselves going
in the next week? Oh look, it's that's the challenge every week, is to get yourself going. We're going to have to feel it again. We've got to get ourselves in a position where we can feel it again. At times maybe we're getting a bit desperate at the moment, playing from behind. Although we are, we're fighting it out, but playing from behind can challenge you even more. So we're going to look at our starts and see what we can do there. But at the same time, it's really just get our game going again, and consistently over 4 quarters.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bush.